How much have you made so far?
950 or like 1,000.
I went from 250 in my prize picks to now I have 3.5K.
It was just like $100, $100, $100, $100, all the way down.
I went from 200 to 12,000 in 6 days.
Holy shit, dude. YouTube, what's going on? We're out here. This is one of my first videos with a special guest, Jake Ellenberger, UFC veteran. And it's crazy, Jake, that we're doing this video right now, bro, because we've been talking about doing this for a while. And the only reason that we met each other through Instagram is because of the Washington bet that I had. And I'm in New Orleans right now for UFC 318. And the only other time I was here, man, was Washington versus Texas, which was the semifinal. Washington had a goal line stand. That was the only. Right. So we're going to talk about bets. We're going to go through our UFC bets, but that was the only time in my life where I felt like I wanted to tap out, where I was like, bro, what am I doing with my life? Because it was to win $500,000, and that would have doubled my net worth at the time. It was it was a good amount for me.
Yeah.
And Washington was up by 6 points, and it was first and goal. And I was like, dude, we literally have to stop Texas 4 times in a row. It was a weird feeling, bro. It was like a feeling where I was like, dude, I just want to disappear for 5 minutes. I was in the stadium. Anyways, Washington won that game, but they lost the championship. But I got to meet a couple of guys that are really cool dudes that I'm friends with now, and you're one of them. So I'm grateful for our friendship and pumped to do this video with you. But I'm back in New Orleans.
I appreciate it, brother. That's awesome.
And we're gonna make some money tomorrow. I can feel it in my gut. Like, this is a card where I'm like, all right, I'm ready to pull the trigger, man.
There's a lot of sneaky underdogs tomorrow. It's a fun card.
There's a lot of angles, man. Let's start with the underdogs. I know you hit me up. So you hit me up a couple weeks ago with Usman as a big underdog. And I liked Buckley in that one, but I didn't like him enough. I have to drive from Dallas to Louisiana, so it's 6 hours round trip. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna hold off. So I didn't lose money on that, but I liked Buckley. But you hit Usman. How much are you throwing down on these? Throwing down a significant amount or a little bit?
A couple thousand. Yeah, I know Buckley too. He's a stud. Like no disrespect, that guy is a scary guy too. Scary guy. And I didn't think if Usman was such a dominant wrestler, I don't know if I'd be so confident in my pick, but I think a lot of people wrote Usman off after he lost the title too, which it's like, look who he's fighting, by the way, number one. But number two is he's still one of the top 3 guys in the world. And I think people write him off pretty quickly, which is unfortunate, but he was a good size underdog, which I was all over it.
Yeah, you're not going to find guys like him as underdogs often. And the judges could have gone either way with the fight against Chimaev, and Chimaev is a big favorite over, or at least somewhat of a favorite over Drakus now. So if he had won that decision, he would have been the favorite. So that was a good call by you. But you sent me a couple where I'm like, all right, I'm definitely, different people send you picks. When you send me picks, I put weight into it because I'm like, okay. And another thing too, bro, is if you're just because you're a UFC veteran, it doesn't mean you're good at gambling. Yeah. And I've identified, I like Moicano's picks a lot. And whenever you text me, I put weight into it, because the thing about Jake, and same thing with me, the thing about both of us is we actually put money on these picks. Like, if I scroll up here, you see on the top right, I have $47,000 in there. I see guys on YouTube. I see ex-UFC guys, and I see just YouTubers posting picks. And when I'm listening to them, I know they're not betting on it. And I'm like, dude, they're just leading people down the wrong path. Because when you put money on it, dude, you think your brain starts operating on another level. But dude, take me through the underdogs. I know you sent me Pitbull, so I'm riding that one with you. But what do you think about Pitbull versus Ige? Because it's Bellator versus UFC, and Bellator's Bellator's kind of shit the bed lately, man.
I know. And just to touch on what you were saying a minute ago is it kind of goes back to that thing where it's like you're not going to take advice from somebody who hasn't done what you've done or want to do. You know what I mean? Like, or people that are like going to give you a pick, but they're not really betting on it. It's like, well, what is it? What does that matter? But and there's a lot of that. You're right. There's a lot of guys who will give their picks that don't actually bet on it. So it's kind of, it's kind of wasted air there.
There's a lot of money in giving. There's a lot of money in giving picks. There's a lot of money in YouTube. So it's like I don't blame them for doing it, but dude, you may as well bet a little too, because then you're gonna start operating on another level. So we're both. That was important. Like I wouldn't get you on talking to you about gambling unless I knew you're betting yourself. But when you look at Ige versus Pitbull, I mean, I assume I really want to hear your opinion on this, but I assumed when you told me Pitbull, you were thinking he got the UFC jitters out of the way, and now he'll settle in. He'll be able to fight as the guy that people thought he would be coming over.
Yeah.
Is that kind of the angle, or what's kind of?
Yeah,
I mean, straight up better.
It's just, and I'll be completely honest with you. I think because he is an underdog, which he's gotten that first fight out of the way, right? He's probably coming back for a little like, I got to prove that I'm supposed to be here kind of thing. A little chip on his shoulder, which a lot of guys do. I feel like do a lot better, especially like, listen, you've already been beat, right? Like and now people are like, okay, we gotta see him. We gotta see how he is. Is he for real, kind of thing. And Ige's a stud. He's a friend of mine as well. So again, this is just strictly Pitbull is an underdog. I mean, that's a close fight. That's a close fight either way you cut it. I am just thinking that Pitbull is going to come in with a chip on his shoulder, and hey, he's got nothing to lose, right? You've already lost. You got that out of the way. Now it's time to fight.
Yeah, that makes sense. You're kind of fading. You're fading a guy like, okay, I don't think Pitbull's going to lose 2 in a row. Like, it's not like he's going to come over here and get into a big losing streak.
Yeah.
And at plus 185, dude, that's such a huge payout.
I know.
Even if you think that Ige will win 6 out of 10 times, it's a ton of value on Pitbull if you even think he has a shot at doing it.
Well, for sure. And it's tough too, because I've done so many times where I've done, podcast interviews, whatever. And that's the hard part. I talked to Chael about this, about being an analyst, right? He works for ESPN. He's always got to give a pick, and he's friends with everybody. But Cormier talks about him. Like, they get a lot of pushback from guys they're friends with, and it's like, listen, this is strictly betting from a betting perspective. Yeah. So the values. I'm saying, Pitbull was impressive in Bellator. He was world champion, right? So again, I'm only coming from the perspective he's a huge dog on paper, and he's coming in with a chip on his shoulder. So I'm going to take the underdog all day.
Chel's a good example of the guy you don't listen to his picks.
Yeah.
He's cranking, bro. He's just cranking videos. He's got a good life.
He's killing it, man. He is killing it.
He was that power slap too.
Yeah.
I don't know what he was doing out there. It looked like they were recording something, but I don't know if it was. Dude, power slap was crazy.
It's wild, man.
So I tallied it all up. So I just got back from power slap. I went.
Oh, you were there.
Yeah,
that's right.
So I went there, dude. I got drunk. I bet on every fight, and I ended up I parlayed the first 3 favorites, and the first guy lost. So then I was trying to win it back the whole time, but I was also like, dude, I don't want to tilt too hard. I ended up losing 2,300, which if it sounds like a lot, it's not, because I made the count balance at 47K. So it could have been way worse, and I was actually happy when I tallied it up. I was like, hey, man, it's all good. Lost about 4%, 4 to 5% of what was in my account.
Yeah.
You know what? Sometimes it's all right to lose, because someone commented on my last YouTube video. They're like, how are you not limited on DraftKings? I was like, dude, sometimes you got to do degenerate stuff to make them think you're an idiot. And then we lay the hammer with the real stuff on Saturday. So we did some dumb stuff on Friday. We had fun. Let's get some smart, some higher level stuff.
Oh yeah.
So first underdog we like Pitbull over Ige.
I also like the over 2.5 rounds for what
You
it's
know,
worth. But
yeah, so I'll pull it back up. I was looking at the fighter props. I live in Texas. Texas is
Okay.
a DFL state. So I drive to Louisiana when I bet against the spread. But if I want to bet from home, I've been betting on significant strikes a ton because the way the laws are, that's legal there. It's significant strikes is really interesting. I'm not going to pull the trigger on this one. I'll actually segue into my next pick. But if you think it's going to go 15 minutes, do you think these guys will get their lines are around 40 to 50 significant strikes? Do you think
I like it.
You think it'd be slower paced, or you think they'll trade blows? And in order to go over on significant strikes, you basically need two guys that are going to kickbox.
Yeah.
And not shoot takedowns, but also be like evenly matched enough to where they both can exchange blows for, the majority of the fight.
Yeah. That's a tough one, man. I don't
think they'll
know.
be active, or you think they'll be more calculated?
I think, how I feel, I think they're going to be striking a lot more. As the fight, as it gets in the second and third round, it might change, but that's a tough one, man, because they can both throw. I don't see anybody finishing this fight. I think it goes the distance, but I don't know.
So
I feel like it'll be more of a striking fight.
To get like 45, they would only need 15 per 5 minutes. That's 3 per minute. So if it goes 15 minutes,
between the two, right?
Well, you can pick either or. You could pick Pitbull or Ige. Probably, and the danger is a finish. So if you think it's going the distance, I like those significant strikes. I will say this. I like Pitbull as the underdog there too, just because the value, the plus 185.
Yeah.
But for the significant strikes, man, what I was looking at is this main event. We can shift to the main event now for a second.
Yeah.
Poirier Holloway. Are you still on Dustin as the underdog plus 120?
I am, and I'll tell you why. I do think this fight goes the distance. I don't think there's a finish here. And just looking back, and again, it's always hard for me to take a step back sometimes because also I love Max, great guy, Hawaiian too. But man, he's been in a lot of fights. Everybody takes damage. There's no no way around that. But I think if you look at this fight, if you watch Gaethje and Holloway, it was an incredible fight, fun fight to watch. I mean, he finished Gaethje in the last minute of the 5th round, something like that.
Well, the last 5 seconds. So So dude, I got the UFC 300 jersey. Sure. 300. So dude, I actually vlogged it, man. My brother, he's 20, so I let him bet on my account, and I had a $500 to win 25 grand on that. And I was like, oh yeah, if that hits, that'll be cool.
That's right.
And then it hit, in the last 5 seconds. I was like, if you ask me what my favorite win,
I remember that video. I remember that video, man.
I was like, damn it, man. I was like, fuck. Because I was like, the last 7 seconds, I was like, he was so close to the finish earlier in that 5th round. And then he pointed to the center of the cage. And what helped him was Gaethje had done like a freaking flip. He did a full flip and a kick. And then he went straight from doing a flip into like that throwdown. I was like, bro, he was so tired that any punch it was just off fatigue. And now, dude, now I see people in their breakdowns giving gambling picks, and they're acting like Max has all this power at 155. And it's like, yeah, dude, I mean, he's not some chump, but you can't just say, oh, he has knockout power because he hit Gaethje, because it wasn't like he knocked a fresh Gaethje out. He knocked Gaethje out after he was exhausted.
Completely.
It's so different. You're not going to knock Poirier out just because you knocked Gaethje out after he did a backflip. He had 20 minutes with a broken nose too.
Agreed. I think to kind of piggyback off that, the reason why I like Poirier in this fight is because I think he's like Gaethje, but he's more balanced, right? He's not.
Definitely.
He's a mature 55er. He's a former world champion. And being that this is his last fight in his hometown, I'm going with Poirier. I don't see him. Is he going to get knocked out? I don't think so. Could he get decisioned? Maybe. I doubt it. You know, um, it is a close line, and it will be a good fight. I'm still strong on Poirier.
Yeah, I've gone back and forth. So the thing about their first two fights is Max wasn't really ready for 155. Like his first fight was his first fight in the UFC. Then more recently in 2019, Max is like 33 now. And in 2019, that would mean he's like 26 or 27.
Yeah.
And I've noticed that fighters in their 20s improve a massive amount.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, the 33-year-old version versus 26 typically is much improved. But also, you know, he's able to carry the 155 a lot better. Now, I heard somebody breaking down their 2019 fight, and basically the angle was that Poirier was doing more damage with his blows. Max was doing more volume. But now that Max is a true 155er, he's able to fill that weight better. You know, it'll give him a little bit of an advantage. But I was thinking,
Yeah.
you got to think these guys are going to come out and they're going to put on a show.
Yeah.
It's probably going to be a kickboxing match where they're not trying to wrestle too much.
Yeah.
It's going to be a BMF fight, which means kickboxing, which is fun. And I think if you're kickboxing, it doesn't really help you to add more weight because it's going to make you slower. So if Poirier was landing power punches against a Max that was smaller, it's not like Max getting bigger is going to help him dodge Poirier's punches.
Yeah.
And he just got cracked by Ilya. Now, I say all that, but at the same time, I'm like, why the hell would I bet on either of them when I could just bet on over just to go to decision?
Oh,
like,
for sure.
I'm
a lot more confident with that as well.
Yeah.
Going the over, what is it, 3.5 rounds and see over significant strikes. I'm all over that. I do feel more comfortable than just a straight up winner, but yeah, I'd still be leaning towards Poirier. I think too, a lot of Max's fights, if you think about it, he's a high paced guy. He can throw a lot of strikes at a higher pace than most people. So he also does win a lot of his fights later in the fight, right? 4th round, 5th round. And man, I don't know. I feel like Poirier is going to have a lot of momentum on his side, and I don't see him getting tired. So I'm still going to go with Poirier by decision.
Yeah, you are right, man. At these pay-per-views, the crowd can will a guy to like
No doubt.
a deeper level.
No doubt.
And the whole arena is going to be insane. Well, I don't know how to find it without clicking same game parlay, but the significant strikes, man, are so interesting to me on this fight. It just seems like such an easy winner, and I'm definitely going to have exposure to it. I'm going to wait till tomorrow to pull the trigger on these, but
yeah,
I've kind of mapped it out in my head, and I think I'm going to have exposure to both of them over significant strikes.
Okay.
Let's see what the line was. So Holloway at 150. I think he'll get to that easy. And then Poirier will be at like 120, 125 range. You can't parlay them. Well, shoot, you can parlay them together at plus 160. Dude, I kind of like that parlay right there at plus 160. Both of them to go over significant strikes. And then you just hope that they keep it standing the majority of the fight. And then you should be solid.
Yeah.
And then if I definitely could see, them the last 10 seconds going a little crazy, but I don't think Poirier is going to let him make him into a highlight reel the last 10 seconds though.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
After you saw the UFC 300, it's like, all right, I'm not going to let you do that to me right now if I'm tired. So
yeah,
this is pretty solid right here. So we have, we'll talk about Kevin Holland here next, but both guys significant strikes over as alternative to taking it to go the distance. Because if you take it to go the distance, minus 160, this is plus 160.
Really
nice little correlated parlay there. You got anything else to say about that one?
No, I'm with you there though. I like all those on the main event. Those guys both got so much heart, and that's one of those things where it's like, yeah, they can both grapple. There's both submission threats, but they're not particularly submission guys.
Yeah.
And I think they're going to strike. And man, unless Poirier catches him, which he could,
True.
I see going the distance. So
that's the risk. And this is a rare fight, man, where like I watch whenever I'm going to bet big money, I always watch the media, like the interviews and stuff. And sometimes guys will give stuff away. Kevin Holland, we'll talk about him in a second. But the way both these guys are talking about this fight, it's almost like they're preparing for a long distance.
Yeah.
Like not a sprint, but a long distance run. And, if you go on a 5-mile run, you're setting out on a different pace than if you're going a 100-meter sprint or 400-meter sprint. And I think both of them mentally are preparing like, okay, I'm going to fucking grind out 3 out of 5 rounds. Like,
yeah,
that's what they're telling themselves. And almost as if they're not even going to try to finish each other because they're like, hey, I'm just going to try to find a way to win 3 rounds.
Yeah.
It's the perfect fight to take over strikes or over rounds on.
Yeah, it's funny when I like how you put that though, because when I fought Diego Sanchez, we were the last 3-round main event in the UFC. I don't know if a lot of people don't know that. So we were the last 3-round main event. And it's a different preparation. Like if I'm just gonna fight for 15 minutes, you can do a lot of short anaerobic bursts, Yeah, but if you're like, man, I might have to fight for 25 minutes, like your approach is completely, because people were giving me a hard time. Oh, if it would have been 5, he would have outlasted you. But like, you got to understand, I put the foot on the gas the whole fight because it's only 15 minutes, right? And for a minute at a time, you can sprint. So I'm like, I wouldn't have done that if it was 25 minutes. So yeah, I agree with you though. I think that this approach these guys are preparing, it's like they know it's probably not gonna get a finish. It's gonna be a hard, like no guy. That's not an easy fight for anybody. Both world champions. They're both preparing for 25 minutes.
It happens quite a bit when people do that, and I'm like, dude, all I've done that I could relate to pacing myself for a fight would be like a CrossFit workout. I'm like, I know if I'm doing a 10-minute workout versus an hour-long workout, it's like, dude, you're pacing yourself to where you have nothing left in the tank at the end of it. So it's so funny when people are like, oh, dude, that guy would have been screwed if it was 5 rounds. I'm like, he would have approached it differently, dude. Like, what the hell? Like, you think the guy doesn't have any brain at all? Like,
I know.
Pacing himself, but there's a lot of angles, man, where like 95% of the public takes one side, and it kind of opens up opportunity for when you're betting a lot of times when you follow those narratives. So I'm having trouble. I don't really gamble on my computer, but I'm recording this on my computer. But one of my favorite, I'll give this out as official free pick. I'm going to at least put $5,000 on this. So if you're watching this YouTube video, I'm going to put $5,000 or more on this. I might put more. This is like my favorite pick, I would say, is the main event to enter round 4, which I have over 14.5 on here, but basically over 15 minutes. So if they start round 4, it cashes. We'll focus on this Kevin Holland D-Rod fight with Kevin Holland minus 3.5 points, which means he just needs to win. He needs to either win by finish or win every round. If D-Rod wins a round, then I'm cooked. But that combo to me is one of my favorites. And I'm that's kind of going to be my safety parlay for tomorrow night. What do you think of that Kevin Holland fight versus D-Rod?
Yeah, I'm with you there. I like Holland in this fight. You were saying you were betting the over for that one, or just if he wins.
So I'm betting on. Do you know how it works with spreads in UFC?
Oh yeah.
So minus 3.5. So I need it to be 30-27 most likely. If it goes to decision, I need Holland to have swept all 3 rounds, which I think.
Gotcha.
Basically, I think he's going to be too fat. I think it's going to be standing up, and well, I pretty much know it's going to be standing up because Kevin said that it was going to be standing up.
Yeah.
And he's a guy. Some guys, they'll say stuff in their interviews, and it's like, okay, he's just saying he's going to try to finish him. Kevin will just tell you how it is in his interviews.
Yeah.
That's another thing. I don't want to, spend too much time talking crap about everyone else making YouTube videos, but a lot of guys, I've seen guys that sell gambling picks and they're giving out Kevin Holland by submission, which is possible. But Kevin Holland literally said he's going to approach this one similar to the Wonder Boy one, where he's like, hey, I'm not going to use submissions. I'm not going to take this to the ground. I'm going to strike with you. That's what he said in his interview. So it's possible he could finish it by submission somehow, but I think he's literally he's going to make it a point to only strike. When you look at D-Rod and Kevin Holland, like the first thing I thought was like Kevin Holland was like minus 500 a few days ago.
Okay.
Dude, I don't think there's literally any chance that D-Rod could outstrike Kevin Holland because I think he's just I think Kevin's quickness is too much where D-Rod's not even going to be able to touch him because he's too fast.
I agree. I think Kevin Holland's impressed me, to be honest. He's a very creative fighter, and he is very quick. And D-Rod, he's a powerful guy. I agree, though. I think Holland's going to be a hard target to hit, right? He's going to be constantly moving. I don't see D-Rod being able to land that power, which is kind of really the only way I see him winning this fight. I just don't think Kevin's going to give him a chance to. And to be fair, D-Rod is a little predictable. If I was preparing to fight him, like you kind of know what he's going to do. So in and out, moving, keep your feet moving. And Holland's he's an active guy, right? He's a creative guy. I don't see him getting tagged either much.
The question I have with this fight is sometimes I feel like if Holland feels that there's no threat because he's so quick, he's not going to get hit. Sometimes he can toy with his opponent and just kind of fuck around. Yeah. And I see guys taking him in the distance. The reason I like the minus 3.5 is because I'm like, okay, if he wanted to finish D-Rod, he could push the pace and do it. But he might just be like, hey, fuck it, I'm just going to get some cardio in, spar with him, and I'm faster than him. Do you think that Kevin would finish him? The reason I ask that is because I look at Kevin's significant strikes. I was looking at significant strikes on this one, and Kevin needs to get about 40, 45. I'm like, dude, will he get 40 or will he just kind of fuck around, taunt him, maybe like dodge some punches or kicks and then like taunt him and slow paced get less than 40? I think if it goes to the distance, he has to get 40, but what do you think his odds of finishing versus winning by decision are?
Yeah, I would definitely lean towards winning by decision. I don't think, again, unless D-Rod makes a mistake, he takes his back. I don't think it's very likely. And I don't think
Kevin won't finish D-Rod, you think?
I don't think so. I think unless D-Rod puts himself in a real bad situation, or gets in a bad spot, which I highly unlikely. I would also take that on the over, but D-Rod's tough, man. He's super, and he certainly wants to win. He's not going out there to lose. He wants to win the fight. He's not going to
give up on you if you over strikes, so you can be confident that D-Rod will be able to eat 40 strikes without crap.
Oh yeah. He could easily take that, and
those are my significant strikes ones. I like Holland, and I like the two guys in the main event. Those are my 3 picks for significant strikes that I'm pretty confident I'm going to play all 3 of those, but also I'm like, I think I'm just going to slam a lot of money on Holland minus 3.5 too.
Yeah.
Hope he comes through. So my official free pick for the YouTube video is this right here. Also, if you want my VIP, I'm definitely going to get down over 20 grand tomorrow. I'm going to do maybe even closer to 30. But if you want my VIP, go to winnable.com/SBE. I'll put the link in the pinned comment, and you get all my stuff that I finalized. But this right here, 100%, I'm going to throw at least 5 grand on. All right, let's move.
Outstanding. There's a couple other underdogs that we could talk about. So
you got it. Well, I got one more underdog. What's your next underdog?
Go ahead. I am gonna go with Marvin Vettori, and I know you're not in love with that, but
it's a tough one,
This guy is very hard to finish, and I spent a lot of time training with him. I've seen him. Good friend of mine. A little bit of bias there, not gonna lie.
We can't let man. All right, dude. It's good to know that you're honest, that you're friends with him, though. That's the tricky.
Yeah.
That's the tricky thing, man, about you being a fighter is if you become friends with active fighters, you want them to win so bad.
I know.
Tough, bro.
Well, and this is like going back to the Pitbull fight, though. Like Vettori is an underdog here. That's he's got some big value. Mine are what is he plus 160, 165?
Yeah, 164 right here on DraftKings is plus 164 right here. So
if
you go Vettori and Pitbull, you're getting plus 652.
Damn. Yeah, I mean he's extremely tough, very hard to finish. He trained with Fabricio Verdum for years. So again, I think he's very hard to finish. He's hard to put in bad positions, to be honest. So I don't know. I'm going to go with Vettori. By decision, he could fit. He hits hard too. He's got power. He could no doubt finish him. But I do think Marvin is coming with a chip on his shoulder, and I think I'm going to take him by decision.
Yeah, I might just lay off that one because I was looking at Brendan Allen, and then I was looking at Fade and Paulo Costa, but then I'm like, dude, I think Paulo Costa is a good one as well as an underdog here.
Yeah. Oh yeah. This card has a lot of underdogs that are like.
You go these three right here. Just do 1,000 to 21,000. I'll probably do this right here. Okay, so for the Brendan Allen Vettori fight, the angle I've been seeing, and one thing I've kind of picked up on, man, like we've talked about when you were in the UFC, just how quickly the levels have escalated, where the skill level of some of these younger guys that have been doing MMA specific training since they were kids, comes into play. I look at Vettori, I look at Costa, and I'm like, I just remember them as like challenging when Izzy had his era in the 185 division.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, man, I mean, I could easily see them falling off a cliff, but I also see the vision, man, for both of them winning. So I'm not super familiar with Brendan Allen as much as I've watched Vettori's most recent fights. I haven't watched as much Allen. I watched him back, but I didn't watch him live. And when I watch him live, it's just another level. Part of it is when guys fight during football season, I'm not as locked.
Yeah.
Okay. So that might have been part of it. But the thing I hear people breaking down this fight, and their angle with Brendan Allen is they're saying he's the more skilled fighter, more well-rounded, but he just can't put it together, almost like maybe a fight IQ thing or a focus thing.
Sure.
And when I hear that, and he's more talented, but he can't just put it together, and then I look at the backstory between them getting into a fight at the PFL event, there's bad blood here. I love it when there's bad blood. It seems like never bad blood in the UFC. So I hear, okay, this guy's more skilled, but he just can't put it together in the ring. But now that there's bad blood, I'm like, dude, he's going to up his level of focus. When you're fighting a guy that you dislike, you're going to be you're going to be on another level of locked in. And that's where I'm like, all right, I get greedy, and I'm like, dude, give me Brendan Allen 200, just put him in a parlay.
Dude, but also, not to keep talking about the overs, but I don't see I see this going
the decision, yeah. The decision.
Vettori is.
Well, I will say this, bro. The decision here is minus 315, so it's priced in.
Oh wow, yeah, expensive.
But you could do Paulo Costa, you could do Pitbull and decision. You're still getting a nice little 10.
Yeah, see. It's hard to say because, I mean, that Roman Koplov is he's good. He's no doubt good. He's a stud, up and coming. But people
he hasn't been tested yet, right? He hasn't been tested.
That's what I'm getting at. Like he's fought some good guys, but I mean, Costa's he's been there and done it, right? He's fought for the title. He's fought the best guys. I should say, a lot of the top 5, top 10 guys. And he's Costa could surprise some people. You know what I mean? It's really hard. It's always hard to say like which one's going to show up, right? Because people would always say that about me, like oh fuck, we're not sure which Ellenberger is going to show up. If so, I can relate to that in the sense of like, hey man, whichever one of these guys is on, they're both incredible. But again, right, the Costa's got the value. So I don't know.
Man, I'm trying to pull up their recent fights here real quick on Instagram.
Yeah, it looks like that couple of he beat Chris Curtis, Almeida.
I know.
Lost to Andrew Hernandez.
I went to New Jersey. When Costa fought Strickland. He got that split decision loss, which honestly, it should have just been a straight up loss. But he's like one notch below Strickland. Was that his last fight, dude? Strickland? Yeah, it was. Damn, that's crazy.
It was split.
You look at his losses. Here's the thing, too, bro.
When
guys have lost 2 in a row, they're not trying to lose 3 in a row. And it's kind of like, do you really want to bet on Paulo Costa to lose 3 in a row? If he loses 3 in a row, he's pretty much like screwed. He's got no path. So it's like a must win.
Yeah. It's funny. I have a good friend of mine here in Vegas he's a big system bettor, right? And he does it with baseball. He'll bet on a team. If they lose, he doubles up the next day. He calls it because teams don't typically lose 3 or 4 in a row to the same team. Which and don't get me wrong, that's a flawed way to think. But I agree with you with Costa. He's lost 2 in a row. But again, Robert Whitaker, Sean Strickland, like 2 of the best guys in that weight class. Man, I still like Costa as a dog, right? I like him in that fight, but.
Dude, he knocked Chris Curtis out in the last second of the round, huh? Second. That's crazy. That had to have been a football season. Yep, January 11th. See, I'm watching January 11th, bro. I'm watching college football playoffs. I'm watching NFL playoffs.
Yeah.
So my goal, dude, is for odds to like get locked in where I follow UFC year round. Because every time the football off season comes, like in the summer, I just crush it. But then I'm like, I'm all in on football when football comes. But dude, I got in the last second. But if you look at the quality of opponent, Costa's won 1 of his last 5 fights, but the guys he's fought
are killers, right? World beaters.
They were all top 5 at least when he fought.
Yeah. Israel Adesanya, Robert Whitaker.
I mean, he needs it more. He needs that win more. It's basically a must-win fight for him right here. And
100%.
He also, dude, shoot, did you happen to see the press conference, man, where he was bugging out?
No.
Dude, he's like, people were like saying he was like, they were like, is he on drugs or did he have a rough weight cut or what? But he was like glitching out a little when they asked him a question, and he started talking about Chimaev. And to me, this is another angle that I look at as a sports bettor is does this fighter believe that they have at least a slim chance of fighting for the belt again one day? Right. And the way he was talking about Chimaev, I was like, dude, they could definitely build an angle with him versus Chimaev. He's definitely going to need another win after this. But the fact that he got all jittery when he was talking about Chimaev, who is favored to win the belt next month in Chicago, like he probably genuinely believes, hey, I just need to win this fight, win another fight, and I can get to Chimaev. I'm going to keep talking about him. There was like some beef there. I don't know the backstory, but he started like shaking. It was pretty funny. I mean, Paul he's a funny guy, like no matter what he said.
Yeah.
But I was like, dude, what the hell is happening here?
Entertaining guy, no doubt.
And I'm like, okay, so he's still in it. He still feels like he has a path. So I don't know. I've gone back and forth. I don't know if I'll pull the trigger.
That's a tough one. That is a tough one.
Any other underdogs you like here? Because I like a lot of the favorites, but I don't know if there's any other.
I know. I think the dogs we all cover.
I love to bet on favorites in UFC. I know it's usually in other sports it's a recipe for disaster, but
Yeah.
I've made a lot of money parlaying like 3 minus 500 guys in UFC. When the situation's right.
Yeah. Can I ask you about one more prelim?
Yeah.
Bruno Ferreira. He's
Yeah,
fighting a
listen
guy
to that
named
one. I texted you. I was like, dude, this guy's 6'5", plus 500. Give me that.
I know. Jackson McVey.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it looks like he's only had 6 fights.
Okay, so I sent you the wrong info on McVey. I was looking up his opponents on ESPN, right? So when I click, I'll do it right here actually. So when you click his opponents, I've seen this happen before, and it really confused me.
From the LFA. Okay.
Yeah, so he comes from the LFA, dude. I watched one of his full fights on the plane right over here, and his opponent was not very impressive at all. But you click on his opponents, right? Like this guy, it's like, oh, he's 0-1. And then I click through. There's a guy that was like 0-8. Like, look at this, 0-8. Okay, here's the thing. He's 0-8 against fighters that have an ESPN profile. So this guy that's 0-8, his real record, like you have to go on SureDog to get his real record. It was bad.
Boy.
It was still bad. It was like 4-12, but he's 0-8 against ESPN fighters. Now the thing about ESPN fighters, I think you have to fight in ONE or Bellator or PFL or UFC. So it's kind of it actually is a good measure of like quality opponents. Like, hey, if you don't have an ESPN profile, you haven't fought anywhere. So these guys have won fights. It wasn't like he fought against a guy that was 0-8. The guy was still like, the record was bad, but it was more of like 5-12 or something like that. I watched one full fight. I don't know which fighter it was against. It was against this shorter, like stockier black dude. Probably this guy, 5'9". And it wasn't impressive to me. What do you think about that? What do you think about that one though?
Yeah, I mean, everything on pay, like that Ferreira, he's got a lot of fights. He's got a lot of experience. Looks like too. And let's see. Yeah, a lot. I mean, he's got a lot of time in the octagon too. I'm sure he's 32 years old. Yeah, it's gonna be McVey's first fight in UFC. I'm gonna stay with Ferreira. I mean, he's a big favorite, but yeah, that should be an easy pick there.
The other thing about McVey, not that it matters, man, because there's fighters of all types, but it wasn't like he was like a 6'5", like rock solid, all muscle. He was like, his body fat percentage was a little higher too. And I'm like,
yeah,
I just don't think this guy scares me against a more proven guy.
Yeah.
So round one, I like it to finish in round one, minus 155 right here.
Yeah.
Let me see if I pick Ferreira round one, what that would pay versus just picking it in round one.
Or can you do like inside the distance, right? Fight doesn't go the distance. Can you do that?
That'll be pretty heavy juice.
Oh, really?
Juice, I think. I would. Here, let me go back and see. Dude, I don't know what the hell I'm on right now. I don't click around DraftKings on the computer often, so
yeah.
You could go under 1.5, but that's minus 260, which isn't terrible. So that gives you 7.5.
Damn. So they're not expecting that fight to go long at all.
Yeah, I think, dude. I saw McVey get popped in the fight that I watched the full one. He won. He's 6-0, but I was like, dude, I think a guy in the UFC probably could do enough to do damage.
Was he fighting a gas station attendant?
Yeah. It was an LFA fight, and the guy, I mean, he didn't look like the best competition. So that kind of gave me confidence. So I'm probably going to put Ferreira in parlays, that minus 25. And then I had a parlay, man. Dude, I'm trying to navigate this site real quick. But if I could do Ferreira round one, let me see if I can find Ferreira to win in round one. Round props. Here we go. So Ferreira round one. Yeah, I'll take Ferreira round one, minus 135. There's a couple favorites on here. I don't know how you may or may not even know. This Islam guy looked like a monster, and most of his fights have ended round one. He's minus 700, so I'm gonna pick him. round one as well. There's probably not much to analyze there. Let me see fighter props. I'm trying to pick him to win round one, but I know him to win round one's plus 100. So I built out some parlays, but I'll just pick winning round minus 130 there. Let me see. There's like a 3-fighter parlay. There's like 3 guys that I was like, dude, all 3 of these guys could win round one.
Yeah.
This next dude too. I don't know how to say his name, but Atiba is also another guy. And then I think there's a younger guy too. Do you have anything on these other fights that are kind of lopsided?
Not really. I haven't. I mean, yeah, like Islam. I know
Slam favorites.
Dulatov. I mean, I have buddies that have a few, like, same thing, pick 2 or 3 like heavy favorites that they like a lot, but I try to stay with like 3, right? 2 or 3, maybe 4, but like a couple favorites and throw in an underdog.
Yeah.
Like and kind of to go back to the Vettori and Brendan Allen fight, I another reason why I like Vettori is because I like that there's been, like you're talking about, there's beef. It's almost better for him to be like angry and upset and have that fucking massive chip on your shoulder, like kind of like this, the schoolyard playground. Yeah, like
did you hear
it
about his
means
brother?
something to him.
You probably heard about his brother too, right? I mean,
yeah,
I don't know.
terrible.
I haven't seen him talk about that or anything, but I know if I lost my brother that way, like just when my mom passed away, I was just pissed. I was just angry, and I'm like,
yeah,
it's a great thing to be a pro fighter when you lose someone like that and you're just angry. I don't know how you take, but I would guess that he has probably been training pretty hard, because training can be an escape from something like that.
No doubt.
And one reason I love the UFC, man, is because these guys are such normal dudes, and it's not like sometimes I hear people say like, oh, of course they give 100%, but I'm like, no, dude, like fight to fight, like you get totally different fighters sometimes. And when I heard that, that actually kind of scared me away from betting against him, because I was like, dude, he might just be going to a dark place and training way harder than he ever has. And you never know, some of these losses that he's had recently could be like, he might not have been fully locked in the way he might be right now. So never, I mean, I don't know if he has or hasn't, but that really does throw a curveball in there for me as well, where, I mean, it's definitely something to, like, some people, I saw somebody like disregard it, and I was like, dude, I want to disregard that. I feel like that's definitely fuel. And I know he's been, I think he's been training with the American Top Team in Miami for this fight.
Yeah, he has been. Yeah,
I think he was he fucking around with Bo Nickel before that? I don't know.
I don't know. I know he was in California for a while, but yeah, I think it was a good move, to be honest. I think it was a good move for him to train there. The coaching, the coaching staff there.
It's obviously
like if I was starting my UFC career today, that's probably where I'd go. There are Jackson's, but I would lean towards American Top Team. I mean, there's Vettori's, I mean, plus 200 on, looks like on a lot of these. FanDuel.
So don't do it on DraftKings if you're going to hit Vettori. So maybe that's my sign, man. Maybe you take Brendan Allen on DraftKings, where all my money's parked. And if you want Vettori, get him somewhere else. Get better than 164. Oh, Kyler Phillips, Oliveira. Do you have anything in that one? I'm taking Oliveira in that one, but that's one of the closer fights. Taking the slight favorite.
Yeah. That's a good fight. That is I would lean towards Oliveira as well. I mean, they both got great records. I mean, Oliveira's got looks like a ton of experience. 22-3 is insane. Is an insane record. So,
I'm gonna skip that
from
first
Brazil.
fight. if I go Ferreira, what about the Ryan Spann fight? I'm staying away from that one, but do you have would you pull the trigger on Ryan Spann minus 245?
He's impressed me. I don't know a ton about his opponent, to be honest.
Okay, right on. Dive a
I'm
little
kind of
deep.
I've kind of stayed away from that one, to be honest. But
Apparently, what most breakdowns, I've watched a ton of breakdowns for this just because anytime I
yeah,
go to UFC, I watch everyone's. People basically would like to bet against both guys, but Ryan Spann has better potential of the two. So apparently his opponent's bad, and then Ryan's disappointed as well. So
oh really?
we'll see. That's one that I would
Big,
definitely skip. I'm not going to put a lot of money into that one. I'll say for sure.
yeah.
Dude, I mean, honestly, like if I look at this parlay right here, Etiba, Islam, and then Ferreira, they're very heavily juiced. This is not a strategy I would do in like the NFL or MLB or something like that.
Yeah.
Dude, in UFC, I've seen it so many times where these favorites just it's easy. It's like a minus 500 favorite in UFC is so much more reliable than like a minus 500 in college football or NFL or
Oh, for
basketball.
sure. Yeah.
And I look at this, dude, I'm like 3,500, make 2,000 profit right there. Of course, you have to have a bankroll built to do something like
Right.
that. I've got ammo in the account. I've got 47K. It's not like if you have a $200 budget, this is going to work, but it's more motivation, man, to build that bankroll, build that account balance.
Yeah.
But dude, I'll say
your top three again. Go over your top three.
These are the top three favorites: Ferreira, Islam, and Etiba. And then the other heavy favorite on the card, I think, was the younger guy. And yeah, he's fighting Michael Johnson. I'm gonna stay away from this one. Minus 625. Some people would say, hey, you should stay away from all the heavy juice, but these three I'm confident in. This one, the only reason that I'm staying off of it is because Michael Johnson is much more experienced, and at the press conference, I liked the things he was saying. He was like, hey, I'm gonna show this young guy, like, basically saying he's gonna fraud check him. And I'm like, all right, I'm gonna stay off that. I don't need to, get back into the Peyton Talbot, minus 600 parlay piece when he's literally unproven. So
yeah,
I'm staying off that one. I was gonna take a heavy favorite, but
Johnson's like you said though, he's got a ton of experience.
Yeah, you never really
and you
know.
just don't know. Yeah, you're really rolling the dice there because a huge. I mean, again, there's usually always a couple of big upsets. You never know.
Let me see. Let me go through these three. This guy Fugit's name is hilarious. I was telling my wife, I bet he has a rough family, and at some point someone like didn't know their dad, and they're like, I'm just gonna give myself a made up name. I'm just gonna make it Fugit. I was like that 100%. I met a couple guys at basic training that were like that, where they didn't have a plan, they just gave themselves a new name. I'm like, I know that's what either that dude did or his dad did.
Yeah.
This is like that's a hilarious name. So we have him.
Is that were you in the Army?
Yeah, so I did Army National Guard, so similar. You were
awesome.
Same thing, right? You were reserves?
Marine Corps, yeah.
Yep, there you go, man. Right. Hell yeah, dude. That's where see, I should have taken the combatives more serious. I should have got deeper into it, man. But I didn't until I got into UFC with COVID, where I was I had nothing else to bet on, and I was like, thank God somebody is willing to put on events.
Yeah. It's funny, man. I was talking to my buddy Flex about that because we were at a lot of like the Apex events. We went to I think there was like a year or two. I went to like 60 events, and it was wild because for a lot of them there was nobody there. It was like fighter, cornerman, commission, doctor, and then there was started being like maybe 30 people there. And yeah, that was a wild time though. It was fun to watch. It's almost like you're going to a gym to watch someone spar, but oh, but ESPN's there, and you know, what I mean, it's just weird. It's a weird atmosphere to fight in when it's so damn quiet.
You know, man, when you were fighting, it was legal to gamble on the fights. I remember guys even like 2021, the commentators would actually, it would be part of their commentary, like, oh, this guy bet his entire purse on himself. I'm like, dude, this is a crazy. That was like just a few years ago, and I was like, this is a crazy sport where an athlete is like his whole paycheck that he makes for this event, he betted on himself in Vegas. I'm like, this is nuts.
I got a funny story. So I actually, I bet on myself. It was my first UFC win. January. It was I put like, I think it was like 5,000 on myself when I fought Mike Pyle. It was like January of 2010, and it was at Mandalay Bay. I remember exactly what it was at Mandalay Bay, and I put her, and nobody knew who the fuck I was. I'm just guy walking in the sports book, and that week, you know what I mean. And I don't even remember what the odds were. It wasn't. They didn't even know it was a prelim fight, and it was very.
Holy shit! You did.
It was very even. Yeah.
Did they have to review the bet? Do you remember, or did they just take it?
Yeah, it took a minute, but they're like,
okay, so their
the whole
reviewed it.
Yeah.
Did they take your? Do you remember if they took your ID?
No.
So they didn't even take. I mean,
no.
Sports betting has evolved.
Like, big time.
Nowadays it's nuts. I mean,
dude, now it's harder to place 5,000 on a bet. They're like, or 10,000. You know, you go to a lot of these sports books, and they're like,
DraftKings fucked up tonight, bro. Power slap. I bet a losing parlay, and they they limited me to 600. Thankfully, it worked out.
Yeah.
So you did $5,000. What was your financial? What was your? I mean, your first fight in the UFC. What was your financial situation? Was that like, what made you do that? Were you that you're gonna win? You're like, fuck it, I need to double my pay here. Or what?
It was to the point where I was like, burning the boats was everything. I was like, I'm gonna either win this fight or I'm gonna die, and I'm okay with either. Like that, it's a crazy mindset, but people don't like. I talk about that a lot, but it was literally that's like literally how I thought. I was like mid-20s, but that's what it was. It was like, well, I'm either gonna win or that was the mentality that I had. But it was a wild time though. Wild time.
How old were you when you got married? Were you with your wife at that point, or you're just single?
No. That was like 2014.
You could afford to go to zero then at that point. I mean, if you're single, you're fucking solid. You can go all in that.
I was literally like single, lived in the gym pretty much. You know what I mean? Like all you have to worry about is yourself. Right. So, you can let it all ride, burn the ships.
Damn, bro. So you won. Was that the only time you bet on yourself?
No, that's the only time in person I like at the book.
Or did you start getting addicted to it? You're like, fuck it, dude, I can double my pay. Let's keep it going.
Well, and then of course, you know, you got friends that are like, they're like, hey man, you're a pretty big, like there'd be fights where I'm an underdog, right? You're a pretty big underdog, or I'd be a big favorite where my opponent would be the underdog. Once I kind of won 3, 4, 5 fights, and then they're like, how much could we put on you to take a dive? And I'm like, I couldn't. Of course, it was funny. Like it's a funny conversation to have, but I'm like, I could never do that. But
that's the thing. That's the
what
thing.
If we went to every sports book in Las Vegas and bet, $10,000 on your opponent? No, but funny conversation.
I mean, if you look at most athletes, what's in it for them to win is so much greater than the amount that they could possibly bet against themselves.
Yeah,
but I will say, bro, especially the NFL, the NBA, you see some of these athletes are so dumb. And there's even dumb fighters that, like, you can't put it past them. Because I used to think, it doesn't make sense for them to, like, let a guy score a touchdown. But then I'm like, man, for whatever reason, these guys are so dumb that, like, it also doesn't make sense. Like Quinshon Judkins, running back on the Browns, domestic violence. He's a rookie. He's about to be in the NFL. Like, all you have to do is just not punch your girlfriend with a closed fist, and you are going to make tens of millions. But he still does it. So some of these guys, you have to calculate that in there. Although logically they shouldn't bet against themselves. Dude, we saw a guy kicked out of the NBA for that. Now, when you were doing it, it was allowed too, which I thought was so cool when I'd hear guys bet on themselves. I'm like, this sport is dope. And then now, of course, seems like, you know, as long as you're not rigging fights, you're good. But when did you start betting on UFC after you retired? Or when did you start betting on fights? I mean, was it when you moved to Vegas, or how long have you been?
No, yeah, much before that, but it was more of like offshore. You know, I think I got more into it once, obviously, when you start making money and you got to peek behind the curtain too. You know, like there's guys that I know that are like, this guy's really fucking good.
Mhm.
You know, and there's a little bit of bias there, right? You got a friend, a buddy. Oh, my buddy's fighting, like so.
Yeah,
You know, so there's a little bit of a fallacy there where you think, like, you know, people, but you also know, like, again, if they're a big underdog, where it's like, hey, he most definitely could win. You know, you're gonna bet on. But I'd say I got more actively betting, probably like 20. I don't even know, 2014-ish, around there, 2015.
damn. So over 10 years, you've been in the game,
Yeah.
man. You've been in the game.
But yeah, and really just, I mean, fighting and football too. I love watching football, so I'm excited for football season.
You got to be a Nebraska fan, huh?
I am, yeah, I have been. I've been, born and raised. But
You have an
also I was
NFL?
a kid.
What are you into?
Yeah, but I was always a Chiefs fan. But I
There
was
you go.
like the Joe Montana, Marcus Allen. Those were my, like, when I became a huge, because we drive down to Arrowhead Stadium.
Yeah.
So I've always been a Chiefs fan, like way before this, Mahomes and then winning the Super Bowl. But yeah, I mean, Nebraska struggled. We grew up watching in the '95, Lawrence Phillips, Tom Osborne days. So it's completely different era, but it's wild. And then you see all the NIL deals, man. It's wild. You see, like, what Ohio State, Ohio State football team makes per year. It's insane.
You got to get your boys to Division I football, man. They'll be rich if they can play quarterback.
Yeah.
Your son?
Yeah, my oldest son is yeah, he's made the Team Nevada select team, and we're actually going to Texas, so
Where
we'll
at?
have to.
Where are you going?
I think it's in Houston though. I don't know how
Shit.
far. Yeah,
Freaking
but
Houston, bro. I was hoping you said
yeah.
Dallas, man. Shoot. We'll see.
I know.
I'll get out to Vegas for sure, though. We'll meet up. We've never met in person.
Yeah,
but,
yeah,
dude, honestly,
definitely.
it's awesome to have you on here. Let me see if I can. Yeah, there we go. I know you're from Nebraska, Omaha. Yeah, dude, you got to go to Omaha quite a bit, right? When you're living in Nebraska.
Oh yeah.
Series. That's what started this whole run, man. That's what started everything that's happened the last few weeks. What's going to happen tomorrow? It was this win. I was like, you know what, man? I haven't watched the College World Series since I was like in high school playing baseball. It's like I want to get back into it. So I did like 30 minutes of research. I was like, bro, Arkansas isn't getting past that LSU pitching. So I put 10 grand. I emptied my account, went all in on LSU, turned it to 22. Yeah. Fast forward to today, we are at 47. And hopefully tomorrow it'll be over 60. Hopefully over 100, but I'll take anything over 50. I'll be happy with. So,
brick by brick.
Yeah, exactly.
And this is what's the site? What do you typically bet at?
DraftKings right here, man. I mean, right now it's DraftKings. I'm friends with the guy that runs the social media accounts, so they
right on.
Also, if anybody's watching, use promo code Lambo if you get DraftKings Pick 6 or DraftKings Fantasy. Promo code Lambo, like the car that I drive, and it'll get you a welcome bonus to help support the page. But they're they let me be a partner with them, and then also whenever I do big futures bets, they post me on their social media, so it's a good reason for me to bet, to try. I try as best I can to put my money on DraftKings over the other ones just for that, the marketing and stuff. But dude, it was awesome. I'm gonna wrap up the video and then talk a little
Yeah,
bit.
yeah, for sure, brother. I appreciate it, man. Yeah.
Dude, it was awesome to have you on. We'll do it again sometime. We'll stay sharp. We'll hop
Absolutely.
on. This was a good warm up Friday night, Saturday morning. We want to get it early in the week, but going forward, we'll do it again, at least for the pay-per-views. But thanks a lot
For sure, for sure.
I really appreciate it. Have fun.
Anytime, brother. Anytime.
Right on. All right. See you guys later, YouTube.